Hello and welcome back to the Geekatorium podcast. It's number 135. And we're going to cut. Matt, should we continue the count from where we left off?
I don't know. Doctor Who started back from the beginning, and DareDevil again has started back from the beginning, so I don't know.
I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll continue. I put 135 in the title of this. Maybe we'll continue. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But welcome to the Geekatorium podcast. If this is your first time listening, we took a break. We took a wee bit of a break, and now we're back. This is the podcast where myself and my good friend Matt Blair just sit and chat about geeky stuff for a wee while. It could be an hour. It could be a week. It could be 2 seconds when we realize actually we stopped doing this in the first place because of reasons. So, hopefully it won't be like that. What are we going to talk about? We're going to be talking in this episode. We're going to be talking about Severance. We're going to be talking about DareDevil. We're going to be doing a Fantastic Five, which is going to be based on other things that we've seen while we were away. And as well, we are going to be sticking around to have a wee chat with the chat after the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the show, stick around, have a listen, and then there's going to be a dedicated section just for you. We're going to go through the chat messages, whatever you're saying to us, and we'll get in on it as well. And we'll tell you the future of the podcast, how we're seeing it to be moving forward. All the boring admin stuff we're going to save till the end. Does that sound all right? I reckon so.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
Sounds good to me.
So I think without further ado, let's. Oh my god! I can't believe we're going to say it. Let's get into the podcast. Oh man, it was like we were never away.
The thing is that I wrote that theme tune five years ago now.
Yeah.
around this probably to the day.
Oh my word! Like how long has it been since we took since we did like our sort of like. You know, like when the Eagles split up and then they sort of reunited and they were like, we didn't split up. We took a 17-year vacation.
Yeah. It's a little bit like that. It's between sequels. It's Beetlejuice. That's what it is right now. A very long-awaited sequel.
Oh, apparently you are doubling up in sound. I couldn't tell you from my end because it sounds okay. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
I haven't got anything doubled up. I've just got my one audio source. So sorry.
Yeah, I do apologize. I am not sure what's going on. I'm sure we'll work it out as the podcast goes on. I'm just looking through my capture, but I genuinely can't see what it would be coming from. Okay, we crack on. Oh wait, how about now?
Is everything normal to everybody?
Does that sound a wee bit better to everybody? Like this is the tense moment where we just wait and see what happened. I think I know exactly what happened there. And I saw a rogue volume control. So I think it might have been that one. So there you go.
It could be anywhere. There we are.
This is it. And we're going to talk about this at the end of the podcast. As I say, stick around for the end of the podcast. We will talk about sort of the future of the podcast, why we're doing it like this way, and what you can expect moving forward. So stick around to that. But yeah, Matt, it's been a hot minute. It's been like. How has it been a year?
It's been more than a year, mate. It's been like 2 years or 3 years.
2 years. Like I got the radio job. I remember that much. Was it around that time when I started doing the radio?
It may have been around that time. If I might have to go into the actual podcast app, to find out when I last. It's been coming up to 2 years. 134 was the 7th of May, 2023.
Right. So I remember this. So I'd started doing the radio gig in the February and May,
Yes.
and it was getting to that stage where it was just like, oh my God, this is getting insane for me. Because I was trying to do radio 5 nights a week, plus podcast, plus streaming, plus being a dad, plus having a day job. And it was just like, oh, this is too many plates to spin.
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Something's got to give. For me, I was doing the job, the quizzes, streaming, comedy club. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. So it's nice. It's definitely it's nice to be back, buddy. It's nice to be back. It's nice to hear your voice again.
I missed you.
I've missed it.
I missed you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, buddy. I missed you too.
I missed doing this. You know, I now have a reason to watch TV again.
You had no reason before at all. You were just
no, not at all. No, yeah, I haven't watched a single thing in the last 2 years. No, not a single thing.
This is the thing as well. So when we were preparing for this episode, it was like, what do we talk about? Because there's literally 2 years worth of content that we could have done. There was so much to talk about. And it was like, how do we pare this down? I'm impressed.
I even became obsessed with a new band as well. It just became God. And that's I'm not even going to go into it, but it's a band with its own story and lore and everything. So it's like that's worth being geeky about on its own. So it's like, oh my God.
Oh, buddy. I mean, yeah. I've had another child in the time that we've been away.
I know. Yes. My God.
I've got 2 of them now, and there's 2 boys.
One for each ball. One from each ball. There you go.
Exactly. They can target one each, and they literally are doing that. It's oh, mate. I feel like I live in WrestleMania, and I'm the one getting attacked all the time. It's just painful. It's just painful. So that's happened. And what else has happened? I've quit comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I've quit. I am taking a little break.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. I've not quit I've quit clubs.
Yeah.
I've quit the club scene, and I'm doubling down on this and YouTube and event hosting, stage hosting, and all the nerdy stuff that I do, and Star Trek versus Star Wars. I'm doubling down on that, and I'm avoiding the club work anymore because I have opinions. Yeah. I'm not putting them out public here.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And there's better things to do with your time than tell dick jokes to strangers. You know, that's kind of what the club scene is these days anyway. Well, I say these days, it's what it's always been.
And you said you're taking a break. You're
Well, yes. I again, like I did with the podcast as well. I've just got too much going on, and it's not doing the night itself. It's because I did all the booking as well. I booked all the acts,
of course,
and everything, which is great until the last one that didn't happen. We had a headliner who broke their leg. And then the opening act also was in hospital, and I did not have time to find 2 replacement opener and closer acts.
Oh no!
And it was just, and I just started thinking, if this happens again, the stress of it, the ball of stress in the pit of your stomach, I just can't deal with it. I've got better things to do with my life, and I want to be healthier. Yeah. So that's really all it is. It got real then for a second, but there you go.
No, listen to you. Listen to. So tell us about your. There's some proper therapy going on here. So we've pared it down. We've got 2 things I think we really want to dive deep into, and then we've got the Fantastic 5 as well, which you'll see is a wee bit different than what you might remember it being. I guess the first thing we should talk about is the thing that actually finished. So there's this one thing that we've got 1 episode left for. And
yes, and it's going to be 2 weeks before we get to talk about that finale as well.
But let's talk about Severance, because the funny thing is the first season of Severance pretty much came out like when we started doing this podcast together.
Yeah, we covered the whole season 1 in the podcast. Definitely, yeah, we did,
and we both loved it. Like we both fell in love with that show, and it was incredible. Yes. And it took like 4 years for Severance season 2 to drop. Was it 3 years? I think it was 2 or 3 years, wasn't it?
No, it's like two and a half years. But the main reason was because of the writing and acting strike.
Yeah, totally, exactly. So, I'm glad that they sort of didn't do anything. And I'm glad they didn't pull a Heroes and let a writer's strike destroy the show.
I will say I didn't enjoy the second season as much as the first. I got to tell you.
Yeah, why so?
I found it a bit like. It felt a little bit, pardon the weird, it's not even a pun, but it's like an afterthought. It was a bit like, and this is what happened afterwards. I didn't feel as much mystery because they were answering a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And whilst that's kind of nice, it felt a little rushed. Like it feels like they're like, oh, I think we're only going to do 3 seasons, so let's answer all these questions now. They didn't want to do a Lost and keep like strands going for like 5 seasons, and that's fine. I just felt that a lot of questions got answered a little too quick for my liking. Not that I minded the answers to the questions; I thought the answers were absolutely fine, but just a little bit like, oh, I thought they could have stretched this out maybe a touch longer and given a bit more tension and drama.
Oh, well, you see, I disagree.
All right, great.
No, it's great.
So that's the end of the podcast, everyone. Thanks for joining. And
we're a bit rusty, okay? It's been a while since we've done this. No, I mean, like, I hear what you're saying. That first season was like literally what the fuck is going on here? And then ending with Defiant Jazz, was like, what the hell? And also that playlist exists on Apple Music, by the way, which is brilliant. It's so good.
Oh, really? Of course it's on Apple Music. Of course it's on Apple Music.
If you've got Apple Music, go check out the Defiant Jazz playlist. It's so good.
Okay.
And I think, like, obviously as well, the fact that it's like it was a 2.5 year wait, expectations were high, probably a lot higher than they probably would have been, and that's fine. I totally get it. I really enjoyed this season. I thought, like, see, I was the opposite of you. I'm glad it didn't do a Lost, as we sort of brought up, because I feel like Severance and Lost are in that same wheelhouse, like they're exactly the same. They're like that first season setting up this mystery and everything like that. And the problem with like Lost is that what it did is just continue to keep setting up mysteries. Even in the finale, it set up mysteries, and it was just like, just stop, just stop. Whereas this one's gone like, we're going to start giving you answers now. We're going to start fleshing out the world and fleshing out sort of some of the mysteries so they make more sense. Like fleshing out the Egans and getting more of an idea of sort of Keir Egan's his thought. Like
the one mystery I feel they've set up that's still like a mystery. Everything's been answered, but the one mystery that's still there is basically Helly is Jesus. Like she's the Keir Jesus. That's sort of what they've set up.
But then, so this is where it's interesting. I think Helly's pregnant.
Well, she has had unprotected sex twice with the same guy. That's interesting.
I think it was meant to happen though. I think I think definitely the first time at the retreat, that was like, obviously that wasn't Helly, that was Helena. So like it was meant to happen, and the second time it's happened, right? But so like this whole but that's the thing. So I think there's like, I think for me that there is more mystery has been developed, and I think what they've done is they've not closed the chat. Like the goats still don't make a huge, like they're still like what, but then obviously it's a religious thing that's going on there, sacrifice sort of thing. Which again,
criminally underusing Gwendolyn Christie as well, by the way.
But then isn't that the story of her career right now? Right? When she got cast as Phasma, I thought, oh my God, that's going to be the greatest character ever in Star Wars. Oh God, no, she dies in a bloody falling off.
And then she's back, and then she's gone again.
Yeah. It's like just so criminally underused. She's amazing. But then like the Cold Harbor stuff and Gemma, why Gemma is inside the Severed department, and why she was there as well. Like they answered it, but they didn't answer it. Like they're working
They
towards
didn't answer why.
Yeah, they didn't answer the why, and I think the why is like everything, and that we got introduced to Jamie Egan as well. That's a big thing.
The thing is in terms of the why. So the other thing that's a bit odd is like, did they know that Mark was going to join? Because he just did that because he got fired from being a teacher. So did they know that eventually he would go to try and work for them?
Yeah, I think they pushed it. I think they absolutely manipulated the life to, Kobil living next door and being the doula for. And here's my other thing as well. Yeah. So I've got there's other theories going around as well. And there's another one that I've read. His sister works for Lumen, or at least Dickon does. Rickon works for Lumen. But why were they using a Lumen birth center? Like the cabins and stuff like that. So there's lots of little things that are sort of all connected, but I think Gemma obviously had the trauma that happened to her in terms of like the lost birth and everything like that. She was feeling X, Y, and Z, which is horrific. And she approached Lumen, obviously sort of approached her to be like, if you join this program, we will get rid of your emotions to deal with it. Like, you won't have to deal with the emotional baggage, the burden of this. But of course, you went, yeah, I'll do that. But the only way to do they were like, yep, we'll set this all up. And essentially you'll be severed. You'll live a life where you don't know what's going on. But they were also taking the opportunity to run tests on her to sort of go even further and try and remove that emotional center, that emotional response to the trauma, which is what all the experiments were about. Culminating in Cold Harbor, and what was supposed to happen in Cold Harbor is that she had zero emotional response to dismantling that the crib that belonged to the baby that they were supposed to have and stuff like that. The reason they got Mark in, though, is because they needed someone with an emotional attachment to her to be able to remove her emotions. Like, that's what the mining was. It was removing, which was
a tenuous thing.
It's a tenuous thing, but I think
the numbers are her trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. How?
And I'm sure
I need the science. I like technobabble, and they're not providing me with technobabble.
Do you need it like in Star Trek, where someone gives you like the sciencey thing, and then someone turns around and says, like, overinflating a balloon?
Exactly that. That's exactly what I want. I want over complications and then oversimplifications. That's what I want.
We don't work in the middle.
That's what science fiction fans demand.
We want two extremes here. We want this extreme and that extreme, which explains the politics of the world now.
We've just solved it. We've just solved the global politics in the first 20 minutes of the podcast.
Absolutely. Amazing. I mean, this is why you listen to us. You want the answers to anything. But this is the thing. I genuinely
think, baby.
So I think like the next season, I think they've what they've done is I don't think they've given away too much. I think they have answered questions, but they haven't answered them fully. Like,
yeah. It could end where it could end there and just be like an absolutely messed up ending. But
there's a lot of people I've seen, a lot of chatter on like threads and things like. Do you remember when we started this podcast? It was all like there's a lot of chatter on Twitter, and now we're like, never going to touch that again. But there's a lot of chat on like threads and places that like social media, other social media platforms, where people are like, yeah, let's just end it there. Just end it there. We don't need any more. And I'm like, yes, you could end it there. I still feel it's very open-ended. Like, obviously, because now you've now almost got the reverse of going in. So now it's going to be about Gemma trying to rescue Mark from there. We've also got Dylan leading the uprising of the entire marching band up against Milchick. We've also got.
Milchick seemed like he was about to break, and then for some reason he doubled down on being with the bad guy when he seemed on the cusp of joining their revolution. But then he seems to snap in the weirdest way.
Yeah, and it was like the whole, like, it was really, really weird, that one, wasn't it? I think it's like Milchick needs control. I've seen so much sort of breakdown about like how he's such a great representation of black people in the workplace. Like I've seen, and like if you go out and watch some of these videos, some of these breakdowns, is incredible when you see it, and it's by other sort of black content creators, and it's just eye opening. But like one of there's things like, you know, when he got his feedback, it was like, you use too many long words, even though they all use long words, and it's like,
yeah,
double standard. It's the whole giving him a picture of Keir Egan.
Yeah, we want you to feel represented in your workplace, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, so showing the founder of the company blackfaced was like, oh. And then of course, like the hosting thing at the end that he did with the dummy of Keir Egan and being spoken down to during that. And I was the same as you. I was like, oh, he's gonna snap. But I think for Milchick, he's still got that sort of what's that? He still believes in order. I think he's still like his life is so.
He's also proud.
He's very proud of his work.
And he does believe in the work. He just doesn't believe in the people in charge of the work.
Yeah, and I think he's getting treated differently because of his race. I think he's becoming slowly more and more aware of it. It's going to be interesting to see in season 3. Has he joined Dylan and the rest of the Severed, because he's got an opportunity. And I think he might. I think he might be double agent, though. I think what we'll see is we'll see the opening season 3. He's still the manager, and it's still everything's presented exactly the same. And he'll be told that he did an amazing job to bring down whatever. But actually, he's double agenting this. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was a part of me that also thinks maybe Mark's sister could be actually creepily a double agent of some sort.
Oh, I think she is. Or I think at least Rickon is. I don't know. Like, I think one of them.
There's hence why she was so keen to call Cobell, even though she was told very much not to. I think there's something else going on there. The stuff with Milchick, he could double down and just become even more evil, because he's also spoken about the fact that he's not severed himself. So all of the terrible things that he's done, he says, you know, I had to do that, and now I have to remember that forever. There's no like severed thing for me or anything. So that's I don't quite know what's going to go on with that. And the whole thing with Cobell, she invented the chip, apparently, as it turns out. It's her technology. How Lumen has gotten away with stealing her work and then hiring her, and she's supposed to just lie down and take that. But some of it feels a bit too simple.
Okay,
but I'm a simple person, so you know. The one thing I do remember in was it the last episode where he's having the conversation with himself on video, and he's going like in and out of the cabin. It was awesome, but it just started like I was just like I see myself in this scene too much, in that it's me watching a video back of me too drunk the night before and going, oh, you idiot, and shouting at myself on the phone, or watching myself back on a stream where I'm stuck in a video game and I'm like, you idiots, don't do that. You're so dumb. Why are you doing it? I related to it. To it.
Yeah, I get it. I thought that was an incredible scene. I thought it was so well done. But it was really funny. I think sometimes you forget when you're watching it is the people on the Severed floor are like the innies. They're kids. Like they are so immature because they've not lived a life. They've literally woken up one day and you're like, by the way, this is what you're doing, and that is it.
I love when they're on the retreat. And he's going, "This is the tallest waterfall in the world. It's 20 feet." It's like,
we're all just like,
and they just accept it. They just accept it because they've not seen anything different. Of course, you know? It does.
But no, I personally, I appreciate what you're saying, but I personally loved it. I thought it was a really, really strong, like a really good season. But I also think it was a bridging season. So I think like the next season is where obviously I think it will all explode. Did you watch much of like the behind the scenes stuff? Because obviously every episode had a behind the scenes and everything. Like,
I normally I love watching that stuff, but after the end of each episode, I was like, I just need to stop for a sec.
So it's really interesting.
I just need to take it all in.
Because what they've done, again, this is what puts faith in it for me for like versus Lost is they talk about the fact that they do have a plan. They know where they're going to end up, but they've got freedom to do whatever they want. So they're like, as long as we end up at this place by the end of the season to set up for the next bit, we're okay. Yeah. We can do whatever we want in between, which is why it's like the Ort, is it the Ortbo? Was it? Is it the Ortrob? I think it was
that's what they kept on calling the retreat thing. They kept on calling, I think it was the outbound retreat, but they kept on calling it the Ortbo or something like that.
Yeah, the Ortbo, which I just thought was such a great episode. I loved that. But the reveal that Helly was Helena all along.
Yeah.
Which now I've got that mashup in my head.
Very good,
Helena all along. But I love that it was Irv who worked it out as well. Like, and it was like Helly is kind. Like that was like
she's never cruel. She's never cruel.
And it was just like, wow, it was so good. But the behind the scenes,
I think I kind of zoned out when I was watching it, and I could very easily watch it back again. What's happened with Irv? He's just been paid to go away and just like disappear.
Yeah. So I think that there's a big thing. Like again, they haven't really revealed much about Irv, but it's clear from his outie. His outie knew a lot more about Lumen than because I think there was all the paintings and stuff like that, and it seems like he deliberately got involved in Lumen to do something on the inside and or try and discover stuff and everything like that because he knew a lot. And it was interesting because Christopher Walken's character
was a lot more sinister than I was expecting on the outside.
Yeah, so his role was to basically make people disappear. And he seemed to have done that. I think Irv had understood I think Irv had gotten so close that he knew that he was going to be made to disappear, and it was just happened to be the man he fell in love with was the one that was going to do it. I love that story though as well. Is that even on the outside there was that attraction between them, that there was still that sort of that feeling, which it sort of, and especially so like. One of the things when you put that in line with Mark trying to reintegrate as well, is this whole thing of like they are severed, but they share obviously this and again and sorry, just one more pop in my head, Dylan as well, popping in Dylan and his story as well, and how like his Dylan's wife at the out and it was like he reminds me of what you were. It goes to show that the innies are not that different from the outies, that there's parts of them in each other.
But the concept that what's his name, Fields, Christopher Walken's partner, that concept of the innies have a soul of their own unique soul, that's what their religion allows them to believe.
Yeah.
But I do believe what I just said as well, is like what their religion allows them to believe, because it's not Christianity, it's care. There's something. I like the ambiguousness of this show when it comes to what year it is, and I'm not quite sure where it's set. It's like Alaska or something, because it's always snowing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's like that area of the States or something. But that concept of they are a completely separate entity. So that they do want to fight to stay alive, and even if they reintegrate, they do recognize that that's not a proper life.
No,
it's their memories being integrated into the main person, the original person's memories, but the actual essence of that person would die, and it's a total Tuvix situation. That's exactly what the whole thing is that which one deserves to die, the one that was there first, or the one that's there doing the work, and he's the one that's actually earning the money that allows the outie to live.
But this is it, isn't it? So it's going to be.
That's the moral debate. That's what I do love about this show. Don't get me wrong, I do like this second season. I just didn't enjoy it as much as the first. I thought it felt a bit. I thought it felt a bit lacking compared to the first, because the first was so epic and amazing.
Fair. That's fair though, and I totally get that. So no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I think I'm really interested to see what happens next. There's so many theories going around. I think, like, my last one I just want to share is I genuinely think. So there's obviously the last episode, James Egan comes down to the severed floor to meet Helly, and he says to her, there's more of Cure in you. And earlier in that episode, he turned to Helena and said, there's none of Cure in you. And it's like, I obviously think Helena is at risk. I think James going to want Helly to stay around. And this is why I think Helly might be pregnant as well, or Helena might be pregnant as well.
Well, that's probably what he meant by saying there's Cure in you.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. So I think he wants to keep Helly around. As opposed to the coming of Mark, which resulted in that. So
that's what it sounded like.
So like, I think like there's going to be like a whole thing of he wants Helly to stick around, I think, because there's more of like Cure in Helly and whatever, and that's what's going to keep Mark as an innie, is because Helly doesn't want Mark to go. They don't want to be separated. It's just, I don't know, like with no macro data refinement, I don't know where it's going to go. It's like, what do they do? So Mark's completed his goal, and obviously once he completed his task, that was pretty much, he was done. He was going to be no more. Like there was, where do they go from here now? Where are they going to hide on that severed floor? Like how big is the severed floor? Because like there's space for a field of goats. Like there's.
Yeah, and the whole thing of if Gemma brings down the whole organization from the outside as this escaped innie, because that was part of the goal, wasn't it? It was that she gets out and they bring them all down. So Mark and Helly are still, and Dylan are still at risk from dying, as it were, or ceasing to exist. So yeah,
I think what's going to happen in the second season, I think Mark's going to fully reintegrate. I think he already has, but he hasn't realized it yet. And I think like
this is something I will say. I'll just quickly go. And one of the things I don't think the show 100% made clear, even though I did eventually work it out. So maybe it was, if I could understand it, maybe it was simple enough. But I just sort of felt when it started to become apparent that for a while he's been remembering this, and then. Like when he was out, and then he would have a memory of being an innie, or when he was an innie and then had a memory of being an outie. You did eventually start to see those pieces come together, but I felt there could have been a bit more both tell and show with that entire situation. It was a little bit haphazard, the handling of that scenario. The reintegration. I don't think that was strongly dealt with, the reintegration.
Fair.
Personally.
No. I get that. I think it will make more sense in the next season. I think they're like, I think it'll make more sense. Overall, though, what do you think? You happy? Happy where it's going to go?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think season 1 was like 8 or 9 out of 10. This one was about a 7.
Okay,
with
that's still
room
good
to grow. Yeah, it's still good. It's just not as good.
The thing is, though, ultimately. What's come out of it is like social media has just exploded with Severance, and loads of people are being like, why has Apple sat on this? Like, why haven't they done more advertising? And I'm like, they set up a bloody thing in Grand Central Station where like all this stuff, they did the same in London as well. They have promoted this season a wee bit more than they did the first season, but I agree. Like, I don't think like Apple do enough to promote their good shows, and Apple have got a stupid amount of good shows that they're sitting on, like Severance for one,
and documentaries as well. I've enjoyed all, like the Michael J. Fox and the Stephen Martin ones. They're brilliant.
like, we talked about Ted Lasso on this show, For All Mankind. Yes. Foundation is excellent. There's so many good shows on there. But like what I'm loving is on social media is that people are just going crazy for the memes as they do. And you know how like Nick Mohammed in his character, oh God, his name character, Mr.
Nate.
Yeah, no.
Now my mind's gone.
Yeah, it's gone out of my head. Mr. What's his face? And he did that. He was on Countdown, and he did the lyrics to Jurassic Park.
Oh yes. Yeah, no,
Jurassic Park.
You
it's a massive park. Yeah. So someone's done it, and this has gone viral, massively viral over TikTok and everything like that, and I'm just obsessed with it. But someone has done lyrics to the Severance theme, and it is genuinely amazing.
Severance starts now.
It's just
best TV show in town. There's no words.
Oh.
Mark is hot, Helly's hot, Irv is hot, Gemma's hot, Dylan's hot, Milkshake's hot. They're all really hot. Mark S be having sex all the time.
It's just wonderful. Like all the memes that become, like all the stuff that's been coming out of it. There's been like a bunch of people who are like switching on my innie so I don't have to deal with the politics of today. Like just Mr. Swallow. I've just been reminded in the chat. It's Mr. Swallow.
Mr. Swallow. That was it.
So yeah, it's the memes that have just got me, like all the stuff of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season. Hopefully it won't be 2.5 years. So
no, well they're already working on it, I believe. They're already on it. They're already on it. Ben Stiller is hard at work.
Amazing. Shall we talk about something that's not finished yet, that we will be able to talk about a finale together in 2 weeks?
Yes. Daredevil, Born Again.
So
how do we feel really good. It's really good. It's a great continuation.
Go for it. Yeah, great continuation. My biggest gripe, and this is my gripe with the MCU at large right now.
Wait, just to quickly add, for anyone, I think we're going to talk spoilers, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Obviously, yeah. We're going to talk spoilers. So if you're not up to date on Daredevil, we apologize. But this is something I'm going to have to.
I've got to tell you, you keep saying the wrong show. It's Daredevil Born Again, Rick.
Sorry,
it's
Daredevil Born Again.
Daredevil was the Netflix show. The Disney Plus show is Daredevil Born Again.
I need a button on my Stream Deck that just brings up a big spoiler alert thing on the screen. Yes. That's what I need. That's what I need. So anyway, see, we're this is the first one back, and we're thinking about what to do, how to improve the show already for you. This is what we're doing, people.
Amazing.
So, my biggest criticism, and it's not my only criticism. I've got other little criticisms, but they're negligible compared to this one. And it's my problem with the MCU at whole. What has happened to the quality of CGI at the over at Marvel recently? And it's even in the movies as well. Some of it is pretty bad. Like
I do watch occasionally on YouTube. There's these I think they're called the Corridor Crew. And they talk about that they're visual effects artists, and they talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the main things, it's really not about the quality of the CGI. It's about the amount of time the people that are making it have to finish it. And that's genuinely all it is. It's just that it's not ready, but they have a deadline, and that's what happens. And we've all as two people who've done stand-up comedy, we've gone on stage and told unfinished jokes or unprepared bits and all of that, I'm sure. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. And that's the thing that's happened with the CGIs. It's even when it's not good, sometimes it's still okay. But I do know exactly what you mean.
It's really frustrating though, because like if you think back to 2008 and like the first Iron Man film, the sequence with the Iron Man suit is just like coming together. It's like even today that looks flawless.
Bear in mind, that was the only film that the MCU had to make at the time.
So
they weren't trying to make 3 films a year and 3 series a year.
This is very true. But so like there was just the opening. I remember the opening scene where he was chasing Bullseye and it was just, it looked really bad at points. I was just like, I felt like I was. You know what? It was Legolas jumping up, falling rocks again, like in the Hobbit film. It was that level of bad, and the reason that was so bad is because they released it in 60 frames per second, so it just revealed how bad. Like, you shouldn't do CGI in 60 frames per second; it looks terrible.
No.
But like there was just, my biggest criticism is that there's just been points to that. But what I love about this show is just continues what was so good about Daredevil on Netflix, the time it takes just to let the story go, the scenes where you go like, nothing's happened, but then suddenly it explodes later on, and it's like, oh no, that's why that scene happened.
And of course there are the obvious like keyboard warriors out there going, oh, it's a show about Daredevil, but Daredevil's barely in it. It's like, have you never watched a TV show before?
Yeah.
Like, also, come on. Like, we're building up to it. We're building up to the reason he puts the suit back on. Yeah, and when he does, when he goes to call the police and then just goes, fuck it, and just actually puts the suit on, like, that's what you're building up to, is that fuck it moment. And I loved it.
It's a lack of patience. It's people who it's TikTok. It's TikTok, man. It's killed attention spans. But no, it was crazy because I was watching it. Like, I remember, so obviously, like, the first episode happens, and he's Daredevil, and then he quits, and it's like, okay. And I remember watching it going like, oh, okay, we are going in hard on that, and
we're losing 2 of the main supporting characters, like, within the first 10 minutes. Yeah,
it's like, how is this gonna be like a thing? And the way they built it back up, just brilliant. Like, to when he gets to the stage where he's just like, yeah, this is happening now. I bought into it. I was into it, like, because especially like they did enough to sort of to keep pushing him back towards that edge. Just keep pushing him back. It was just like, it was beautifully done, really well written. And again, just like there's not a bad character in the whole show.
No, even the guy that you're supposed to really not like, the guy that's
him.
I've forgotten his name. Tony Soprano's son in real life. I've forgotten his name, but you still have this thing with him where you're just like, you're a slime, but you're actually someone that you'd be that friend who'd be like, oh God, that guy, come on, you can do better. You'd always want to root for him to do better, but you know he's just going to go down the road.
Yeah, no, I agree, and no, I'm just really, really enjoying sort of every single slow reveal, and you can see like every character has that turn left opportunity where they could be good or they could be bad, and like some are choosing to be good and some are going the other way. So like it's like BB, for example, like like, oh God, she's gone doing the propaganda route. She's going to be the mouthpiece for the man who killed her, who killed her grandfather. And instead, it's like, no. She's doing the double A. She knows she's doing what she's doing. So it's like, it's really, I'm loving all of these little bits where it's like the next episode, I'm just like, okay, so how do we pull this all together? Like,
do you know what I really liked with this season? And I think it's something that a lot of TV shows should do. There was the week they released 2 episodes at once.
Yes. Yeah.
There was the bank episode with Ms. Marvel's dad. Mm-hmm. And then the other episode. So they released like this bottle episode, which was a bit of a filler episode. And it's like they went, do you know what? If we release this, all people are going to talk about online for the entire week is it was just a filler episode. So how about we release the filler episode and a meatier episode at the same time? And I think a lot of TV shows should do that. Like, if you're going to do a filler episode, do the other one as well in the same week. Otherwise, you are going to have some pissed off fans.
You see, I'm the opposite. I think there needs to be more filler episodes.
You want technobabble.
Yes. I miss my 24 episodes per season with Data's Day happening as an episode. Like that's what I miss. I miss the episodes where we can just do something stupid with one character. Like Beverly Crusher can go have sex with a ghost. That's okay for one episode. Like I miss that. Like why does everything have to be linked? Like just how many episodes, individual episodes of Discovery have you gone back and watched and you go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to watch that one episode. None. I guarantee it's none, right? Compared to
that's kind of true.
Anything else. And it's not just, I'm using Star Trek as the example here, but it's pretty much every single like TV show is done this. It's a problem. It's a problem in TV, I think. But saying that,
serialized TV is different. It's like when Deep Space Nine, there's a few Deep Space Nine episodes you couldn't watch just one because it is just like, wait, what's happening here?
But they still give you an episode where Vulcans played baseball. So it's
I would like to see Fisk and Daredevil play baseball. Bullseye pitching.
Oh anyway, my god! Yeah, but the whole thing is right. That rant aside, it's that rant does not apply to Daredevil because I actually think this is compared to a lot of MCU TV shows. This is like. Everything is right. There's some MCU TV shows where I'm just like, you're good, but you drag. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, I remember when we spoke about that, and I loved it at the time, and I still like it. But when I've rewatched it, I'm like, this is supposed to be a movie. Like, there's a one of my biggest criticisms of a lot of the MCU shows is that this should have been a movie. And this one doesn't feel like, this one feels like a TV show. This one genuinely feels like a TV show, which credit to it.
The hard R rating as well helps. It makes it feel like a grown-up show. Like, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, if that was like the Daredevil sort of style, when US agent takes off that guy's head with the shield, you'd have seen it. You know, you'd have seen a head rolling on the floor with blood pouring out the eyes, and that's what it would have been if it was on a Daredevil show. And I'm not saying like I'm a gorehound and that's what I want to see, but it makes you feel like a grown up in that you're not being like, it's not being sugar coated or anything like that, which a lot of the MCU does have. It does have that kind of puffy kind of like, isn't this kind of cool and sweet and nice? And I do like that stuff as well. You know, I love them as Marvel TV series. We talked extensively about that.
Loved it,
She-Hulk, I really enjoyed She-Hulk. I know a lot of people.
Oh my God.
It seems,
you know what, we were talking about how much we enjoyed it, thought it was funny, thought it was clever, thought it was this and the next thing. And like totally oblivious to the amount of hate that's like I did so obviously I've been more active on YouTube doing like more videos. I did an MCU TV show ranking. Jesus. The stuff that was said about She-Hulk.
I know, and I still find it bizarre, especially when there was like all this talk when Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and this talk of like, oh, apparently She-Hulk was supposed to be in it, but Ryan Reynolds said no, and all that. It was just like, I very much doubt that he did that.
Well,
the way people believed that stuff, and it just was like crazy. I didn't realize how it actually worked. I loved She-Hulk. I thought it was great.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great way of bringing back some of the older characters that like Abomination and who would have thought, by the way, I know we're going to talk about it in a minute, but who would have thought the Incredible Hulk, after all these years, would finally get all of the characters back and like all of the attention that it really should have had much earlier on in the MCU? Like, who would have thought it? Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
So
we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that.
Daredevil. So we've got one episode to go.
Daredevil.
We've got Vanessa.
Do you think Punisher's coming back?
I think they wouldn't have introduced him into this series if he wasn't going to play a major role within the sort of finale of this season. I think he's definitely going to come back, especially because like they've obviously set up with like the random cops using the Punisher logo to commit these horrific crimes. You know, like Hector, man, like.
Yeah,
Jesus.
No, that was heartbreaking. That was absolutely heartbreaking.
But like there was like, so I don't think they would have set that up. That they've set up that there are corrupt cops. Obviously now with a complete division with the under Fisk, they're doing whatever they're doing, what they want to do. But they're using the Punisher's logo. I don't think the Punisher's going to be happy with that. Punisher's not. The Punisher's about he's about justice. He actually is about justice. It's just not very.
He is, but he doesn't. Because it's been in the comics of when like where there's, I think there was a panel where a cop sort of shows Punisher like a sort of a skull logo like on the side of their car or something like that, saying like, "Hey, we're on your side," and he's like, "No. Of all the people that should be like me, it is not the police."
Exactly. So that's why I think he's going to come back, because there's going to be some massive face-off between this police department and, you know, who I don't know is like obviously Daredevil for a start, but you've also got Swordsman involved, and he's like, like
he's great. He's so good, that guy.
Oh, great, isn't he?
You never watched Better Call Saul, did you?
No, but I also now want to watch Hawkeye again just for those scenes.
But
you know?
he's the worst kind of character in Better Call Saul.
Okay.
Excuse me. He's an evil son of a bitch. Like, he is so evil.
Wow.
But charming. He's a charming evil dude. So
right.
That's why the first half of Hawkeye, where you're sort of led to believe that he could be the bad guy. But then it's such a lovely thing when it turns out, oh no, he's good the whole time. But you believe that he's bad because you know him from Better Call Saul. So all of the times they're hinting that no, he's really sinister. But when it turns out, no, he's just a bit of a buffoon. That's what makes his character so wonderful. That's what I like, that setup in Hawkeye.
I do need to catch up. I need to watch Better Call Saul again. I watched the first 2 seasons and then just sort of gave up.
Oh God, it's so good. Anyway,
I know.
So that's another hour of the podcast. So let's not.
So we've got the situation we're going into the finale is we've got Vanessa has like fully embraced being her again.
Queenpin.
Yeah, Queenpin. Kingpin has basically worked out that he can actually just be Kingpin as mayor as opposed to trying to be mayor, you know, and hiding his Kingpin side of it.
He's well screwed, though, if he's trying to sort of stop Daredevil from being a vigilante, because now that Matt's taken a bullet for him, he can't be like, well, he's really bad. It's just like, look, even this guy like saved your life.
Yeah.
What a great play by Matt Murdock. What a great play.
That bullseye, though, like that whole sequence of Bullseye getting out of the prison was just like...
Yeah, using a tooth.
Cracking
his own tooth out and spitting it in someone's face. Oh my God.
I don't know about you, but I think this Bullseye might be a little bit better than Colin Farrell's Bullseye.
Just a little bit. Fun fact, I don't know if you read about this, when the series came back, do you know he was essentially almost announced as Captain America? He was nearly Steve Rogers.
Oh my God.
And then he said he was waiting to hear back, and Chris Evans. But he was like the next choice. If Chris Evans did say no, it would have been him.
That would have been a very different.
And now he's playing Bullseye. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, it was very good. Anyway, so we've got Vanessa being Queenpin. We got Kingpin being Kingpin again, like actually realizing he can be mayor his way rather than having to play politics. We've got BB trying to like sort of do everything underhand and be like definitely expose. But then the question is as well, like it's because obviously this is horrifically mirroring real life.
Yeah.
Will people care? Like, you know, like currently, I mean, I don't want to say like, obviously we all know the situation that's going on. You know, there's a felon, you know, and people don't care. And so like, it's like, there was
the interview with one of the public at the beginning of the series where he goes, where he says, yeah, apparently he took someone's head off with a car door. It's like, yeah, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah,
you know, that's that's the voting base of Mayor Fisk. So you know, that's what it is.
It's kind of scary that that's the situation, but I don't know. I'm like, it's a madness. I'm telling you, it's a madness. So I don't know where this. They've set something up. I don't know what it's going to be, because Matt's now got to recover from his wounds and somehow have a finale. Like, and there's obviously a season 2.
I saw that scene again because I was just like, oh my God, he gets shot in the arm.
Yeah.
I thought for a minute it was like in his chest.
I thought it was like there. Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
It's more like there. It's more there the second time I saw it. So he's going to be fine. He's going to be stitched up. Rosario Dawson's going to come in, stitch him up.
I hope so. Yeah.
But no, I'm curious about the whole situation with the with the girlfriend though. When she's like, "I saved myself," it's like, no, you didn't. You ended the fight, sure, but you were about to die if it weren't for Daredevil. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and this,
come on now, you didn't really save yourself.
The way she's talking as well, like, oh, the vigilantes are terrible. It's like, a vigilante saved you. Just chill. Just chill. Yeah. Like, listen, we know Muse was bad, and he was horrific. He was amazing, dark villain.
Yeah, good villain.
Really
good. A little bit underused, but very good.
And so that's my that's my other sort of criticism about this season. It's like, I feel like Muse could have been a bigger part rather than just a random person committing crimes. But hey, there you go.
Muse really should have been the big bad of the season, and this whole thing with Fisk and Vanessa and all of that could have stretched into season 2.
Yeah,
like could have stretched that out longer. You know. So maybe what we're saying is that they should hire us for the writing team. So
100% every single time. We say this every single time.
Kevin, get in touch. You know, like, you know, Feige, you need to reach out.
Listen, we all know we all know the MCU is kind of struggling right now and getting a lot of criticism, a lot of flack. We can fix this.
Yeah,
we can.
I mean, Pedro Pascal might be able to save it a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, unless he has a child to save in the Fantastic Four, I don't know if it's going to work.
Well, the rumors are of Mrs. Fantastic is pregnant in this film. So
then it's going to be fine. It's going to be the biggest success the MCU has ever had.
Exactly. So there you go. Excellent.
Unless it's Franklin Richards, and then there's that's where it's a problem, isn't it? But if it comes out and looks like Jonathan Majors, Pedro Pascal might have some questions.
Yes.
I think we all will have some questions.
Yeah. Shall we? So Daredevil, we got one more episode to go. We'll talk about it in a couple of weeks, and we'll explain more in a second about that. But before we explain a little bit more about that, shall we? Shall we fantastic? Shall we do it?
Oh, we haven't Fantastic to 5 for a long time.
Let's do it.
When your brain is in a twist, cause you've got to make a list of the best things of all time, or the worst things we can find. It's a fair and fabulous, phenomenal, Fantastic 5.
Okay, so when we were sort of bringing back the podcast and we were like talking about what we wanted to do, I think like Fantastic 5 kind of was a no-brainer, wasn't it? It was kind of like, we want to do it.
Yeah, keep that one.
But you have to understand, people, we were really scraping the bottom of the barrel when it came to our Fantastic Fives.
God.
We were just like...
We ranked hats, I think.
Yeah, we were trying so hard. Like, because like, it started off easy, like, oh yeah, cars, like cool cars, like let's start there. Spaceships, yeah, episodes of whatever, and it was like, this is easy, and then suddenly it was just like the colors of shoelaces. Like, it was like really scraping the bottom of the barrel. And the thing is, we want to do this section, but we don't want to be stuck in that situation again where we're trying to really find out. Like, it got to we did it in the end, didn't we? The last one, we Fantastic Five. Like,
we did.
Yeah,
we did. Yes,
we did.
Yes.
So
we did. But I still think like our favorites were like things like me choosing a pencil for like for every single weapon, and you choosing, wasn't it, Doc Brown for every single answer. Those were the days. Those were the best ones.
Special days.
Where we mocked each other. We mocked each other with our
we did.
Yeah, those are the best times.
We're going to retool the Fantastic Five a wee bit. It might involve a new theme tune. We don't know. So I played it earlier for Matt, and your face was just like, oh no.
I was just hearing my voice from 5 years ago, and that I wrote that while I was driving to a wine shop one day. I worked at the wine shop, don't worry. But it was, oh my God.
So this is what we thought we would do instead, is rather than trying to come up with different types of things. So we'll talk about this later on, actually, when we come to sort of the chat at the end. What we thought we'd do is mainly with Fantastic Fives, because we are going to do it as a Fantastic Five other things we have seen. So it's going to be...
In the break, in this time that we've not been talking about stuff, now we're going to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. We're going to try and keep it as brief as possible. And in the future, it will still be that, because we're going to be doing this 2 weeks at a time. It'll be sort of Fantastic Five, and it could be games we've played, TV shows we've watched, movies we've watched, comics we've read, whatever, and it will be 5 between the two of us. So it won't be 5 each, it'll be 5 between the two of us.
Yeah.
So
the 5 best things that we've been doing each 2 weeks.
Fortnight, exactly. Yeah. So with that in mind, we've talked about Severance, we've talked about Daredevil, 5 other things that we've watched in the time that we've been away. And this was difficult, man. This was actually genuinely difficult, because there has been a lot.
I think we're kind of consolidating 2 or 3 things into I think 3 or 4 things into one thing.
Yeah. Also, like, there was one
Star
thing
Trek stuff, basically.
I suggested one thing, and you went, I haven't seen that, and I'm like, how have you not seen Skeleton Crew? But
because I am not the target audience for Skeleton Crew.
It's so good, though. It's the Goonies in space. It's the Goonies in space. Like, it's genuinely so good. Like, it's one of the best things that's come out of the TV shows that come out of the Star Wars universe. It's so good.
How many episodes is it?
Like 8, I think. It's not many.
8.
It's worth watching.
I mean, if it was 6, I might have been more interested.
And Jude Law he's so good in it. He's so good. Stephen Fry is in it.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. We weren't the target audience for Prodigy either, and you know what? Star Trek Prodigy is amazing as well. So
still haven't watched it. Haven't watched Star Trek Prodigy.
You need to watch Star Trek Prodigy. It's so good, honestly. so good. Okay, let's talk about the first one. I think this is probably one of the bigger ones. A couple of movies. Let's start with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine. See, I know this because we briefly talked about this over text, and I'm shocked to think that to know that you think it's a bad movie. What have you changed your mind on it?
No. It is a bad film, but it's really fun.
I don't think it. I think it's as good as it could have been, considering what a Deadpool movie can be. The first Deadpool is great because it is so fresh and different, and the second one just sort of continues that. The third one, it's like, well, what else could you do? And I think it takes off from the him doing the time travel nonsense and all of that, and then that ends up taking him to Earth 616 to try and join the Avengers, and that great cameo with Happy. I don't think it could have been any better than it was, and I don't think it was bad. I thought it was fun. I thought it had heart. I thought it was kind of clever at times, the way it did link with the MCU and the Deadpool universe. I had a really, really good time, and I think everyone performed it really, really. And I don't see how it could have been much better than it actually was.
But I'm not disagreeing with you that it was fun. I had a lot of fun watching it as well, and I rewatched it, and I still had equal amounts of fun. But I was just like, okay, we've had the same fight 3 times now. Like they kind of like do the same thing over and over again. It's squeezing in.
It's like a cartoon. It's a cartoon because they never die. Yeah. So they just destroy each other and never die. Tom and Jerry.
They're squeezing in like references and Easter eggs from like other parts of like the Fox universe, the MCU universe, for the sake of doing it. And sometimes it's like, okay, why are you doing this? How does it add to the character story? And why is that necessary? Fine, but it's still a lot of fun. Like, so whilst I've got my criticisms of it, I still enjoyed it. And it's one that I'll rewatch again and again, because just the opening scene of using Logan's bones to take out the TVA agents.
Absolute, like that whole thing of just like, how do we do this without ruining the actual memory? We can't. So we're just going to lean into it as hard as and just brilliant. It was brilliant.
It was beautiful. Beautiful. And setting it to bye was just genius. Absolute genius.
As it turns out, was a reference to X-Men 2.
Okay.
In X-Men 2, there's a scene where when they're all escaping the school and they're all in a car together.
And that's playing.
One of them says, turn on the radio, and it's bye playing on the radio, and Wolverine turns it off like, nope.
I forgot about that. There you go.
I'd forgotten until someone posted the scene, and I was like, oh my God, that's incredible.
So what
if that's intentional, which I think it must have been.
Yeah. So as I said, like, I don't like it's a bad film in terms of like, it is a bad, like it's a bad film, like but it's not a bad film. It's fun. Like so bad films can be fun. And fun films.
I think you thought it was a bad story, not a bad film. It was a bad story.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
right.
I think it was a bad story. Okay. I don't think it was the best story. I think compared to the previous 2 Deadpool movies, I think those were better stories. And I think this one was a little bit weak. But it was a lot of fun. Like, and it was a great way of bringing Deadpool officially into the MCU. Like, I think they did it really well. And I think as I said, I think they did a really good job of honoring Logan without destroying it, but still bringing back Hugh Jackman. I think they did it right, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah. And the fact that it isn't Logan, it is a completely different Wolverine.
Yeah. I loved the jumping around, seeing all the iconic sort of different Logans, all the different Wolverines.
The brown suit's better. The brown suit looked so much better than the suit that we got.
But also, Cavalrine.
I mean, part of me loved it. Part of me absolutely loved it. Another part of me went, oh God, the internet. It's going to be insufferable. Just the Cavill fanboys.
But so there you go. But they did it for the sake of doing it. So anyway, Deadpool Wolverine. We both enjoyed it. Just to differing, just, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's fine.
We both enjoyed it. We both enjoyed it. That's the main thing. We both enjoyed it. Okay.
Let's move on, okay?
Captain America. Brave New World.
It's fine.
I thought it was good. I think Anthony Mackie's a brilliant Captain America. Like, he's a great, he's a great, his character, first of all, like, his Falcon, he was great already. But like, just continuing on from that last scene of Falcon and Winter Soldier, he's a very different Captain America to Steve Rogers, but one that is so good. Like, I think he's brilliant. But
yeah,
the movie's fine. I enjoyed it.
It's fine for being an Incredible Hulk 2.
Yeah.
My biggest criticism of it, and it's a criticism that couldn't be avoided, so it's not like I hold it against them, but the impact of all of its connections to Incredible Hulk 2 unfortunately is spoiled by Harrison Ford having to be Ross instead of William Hurt. And that's fine. It's unavoidable. It wasn't like a Terrence Harris situation. Wasn't anything like that. He died. He passed away. Especially like with the whole thing that if you actually look back to Black Widow, the Black Widow movie, they hint that he's not well in that movie.
Yeah.
Hence why he's needing the heart stuff and all the medication in Brave New World. So all of that is set up with William Hurt, and then it has to be executed with Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford does not phone it in. He does not phone it in the slightest. But it's just visually, I was a bit disconnected from the emotion or the importance of all of that connection to him in Incredible Hulk when it's not the same actor. And that's and that's no one's fault. That's no one's fault.
I agree with you that. Hurts. And I think like my other criticism of it is like, I enjoyed the film, but it is Incredible Hulk 2. It's not Captain America. It's really weird that it was a Captain America film.
To not have Mark Ruffalo even in one scene, they get Bucky for one scene. They could have had Mark Ruffalo for at least one scene.
That scene where Danny is getting the surgery and Bucky turns up, that scene alone elevates the movie to good, because it's like, it's just continuing that relationship that they built in Falcon Winter Soldier of like, we are friends, but I'm relentlessly going to take the piss out of you. Like, it was beautiful.
I know some people had a criticism because it was a really good scene and then it's undercut with a joke at the end, but that's their
relationship. And I thought the joke was funny.
Exactly.
I thought it was a funny joke.
Yeah, and it was a good line. But I'm curious as to the setup to the Thunderbolts, considering he seemed to be running for a political position.
Right.
And he, in all the trailers of Thunderbolts, he's just on a motorbike killing people. So how does he go from that to that? I want to know.
So we're going to talk about that in a second. But like, my other criticism as well is the end of the fight, like how they got Ross to stand down from being Red Hulk. It's like, why go to the cherry blossoms that you mentioned that he liked to see with his daughter and not have Liv Tyler there? Like that. I know it would have been a Superman, like Justice, that scene in Justice League where Batman says, bring her out. And it's like, Amy Adams walks out and somebody I get it.
It's also how it ends in The Incredible Hulk is she stops him from killing the Abomination. So it's like kind of the same thing.
I know, but it's so frustrating because it was like, you've put all the pieces in the place, like literally to do that. And then you do this sort of like, oh, he's just going to do another speech again. And it's like,
yeah, but you know why? Because his superpower is he was a counselor.
This is true.
So he will talk people down. That's his thing. He knows how to talk people out of an emotional rut. That's his thing. Yes, I know it's not a superpower, but that's what he does. That's what he did when we met him for the first time. That's who he was, and that's still who he is. And I think that's actually really cool.
Well, I think it was overall. I mean, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was fine. I do think it was Incredible Hulk 2, which was a big problem. I told my wife to go see it. Actually, my wife wanted to go see it for me because she took it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they do child screening, like baby screening, like bring your baby to the cinema.
Of course, yeah.
So she got to go see it during the day, and I was like, well, if you're going to go see it during the day, I'm going to go see it by myself on the night. So I did. I went to the cinema by myself after the kids were asleep. And it was I genuinely enjoyed it, but she turned around to me and she said, "Thank you for making me watch Incredible Hulk before I watched that," because she yeah. So she was like, "Is there anything that I need to watch?" And I was like, "Well, I've been reading like rumors, and obviously because it's got Red Hulk in it and stuff like that, I think you might need to watch Incredible Hulk." Because I think there's going to be some stuff in here, and then lo and behold, I was right. It was pretty much Incredible Hulk 2. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think it's worthwhile. I think it for me it just cements the fact that we've got a really good Captain America now, like really good Captain America, and I'm happy with that. Listen, not all of Captain America films were great. Winter Soldier was the highlight of all the Captain America films.
Not for me. The first Avenger was my favorite Captain America film. I love the first Avenger.
First Avenger is very good.
I love it.
But
listen, I love the first Avenger so much.
Civil War it's not that great.
Oh no, I like it.
I like it.
The worst MCU movie is still a fun movie to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The only MCU thing I won't enjoy watching again is Secret Invasion.
I'm not saying Civil War is a bad film. I'm saying it's a bad Captain America film.
Yeah, no, it's not really a Captain America film. It's
an Avengers film.
It's Civil War. It's a Marvel Civil War.
It's an Avengers film. That's what it is. So anyway, so yeah, we seem to be kind of on the same page with Captain America: Brave New World. Okay, cool.
Moving on.
Shall we just do like a big Star Trek thing here? Because this is kind of like covers.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Star Trek to talk about. Two big shows ended.
Yeah, and so like. This is like, so point 3 is 2 shows and point 4 is going to be a film. And I think we should talk about the shows first.
Okay.
Before we get angry.
So the end of Discovery, bless their socks for what they tried to do, because they didn't know that it was being cancelled when they filmed that season. So they very quickly filmed that last 10-minute tag to tie up the loose ends of why Discovery was another 3,000 years in the future from where they were completely abandoned.
Which they didn't need to do.
They didn't really need to do it, because the reason why they didn't need to do it as well is because we only knew about that from a short trek, which they could have just said is not canon. They could have just said, no, it was just an idea we were throwing around and now it doesn't count. But they had to somehow tie that all together, and But I thought the last series was actually very good. I liked seeing what the Breen looked like underneath all of that. I thought that was all really cool. It was still very Discovery, and let's talk about our feelings all the time. It was
oh my god, when they're on the green ship and like they're like in danger, and they went, "Wait, I've got to tell you how I feel." I was like, "Mate, you're about to be like seriously, like you could have done this before you beamed over. Why are you doing it now?" Like, just so bad. Yeah, it's so annoying. So annoying. Go on, keep going. Sorry.
I mean, it's look, I for all of Discovery's faults, I find it a very interesting. It's it's like the emo cousin of the Star Trek family. No one quite understands it. It's a little bit rough around the edges. It's got a lot more piercings and tattoos that you don't really like or find good to look at. Yeah, but it is still a member of the family, and there are a lot of good. I think it's actually really well balanced on the good and the bad. It doesn't really tip too far on either of the way. It's just, and I know we keep saying like, oh, it's fine. And Discovery is fine. It's just frustrating because you know it could be better, because the concept of it is actually really strong. And it just unfortunately doesn't stick a landing that it should.
I think it's like Enterprise, though, isn't it? Like Enterprise was massively criticized when it was out, and it got good towards the end. And now people look back on it and go like, "Well, you know they had a really good Borg episode." People look back on it now and go like, that Enterprises look back on more fondly than it was at the time, and I think Discovery will probably get the same as well. And I think we have to remember that if it wasn't for Discovery, we wouldn't have Lower Decks, we wouldn't have Strange New Worlds, we wouldn't have
Picard, we wouldn't have Picard, any of that.
We wouldn't have I mean, Picard, you can maybe argue,
Picard series 2 you can get rid of, but series 3,
what annoyed me is that you could tell in Discovery they kind of let the shackles off. They'd kind of gone like, right, we've spent all these 4 years, these previous 4 seasons, kind of like trying to set up. Like it felt like every season was like they were setting up to finally be a good show, and it felt like season 5 finally were like, okay, we've done it, we've set up. And then they even introduced a brand new character, Raynor, who was incredible. Like, he's so good. And like, I felt like if they'd gone forward, if they had another couple of seasons with him as well, like it would have shooken it up. I feel like they would have done well. But yeah, that last 10 minutes, do you know that last 10 minutes reminded me of? The last 10 minutes of Revenge of the Sith, where they're like, you know what I mean? Like Revenge of the Sith overall is actually a decent film. Like it's the best of the prequels for a start.
The best of the prequels, but a really messed up ending if that's where you think the story just ends. It's like, a really messed up ending.
It starts off really great with like one of the best space battles in Star Wars, like over Coruscant. Yeah. The actual downfall of Anakin is actually pretty good and actually pretty well done. The fight on Mustafar is incredible. And then like the last 10 minutes is like, oh yeah, we better wipe that droid's memory. It's like just to try and make it all work, and you're just like, why? Like it's such a bad 10 minutes. I think it's made worse now by the fact that the Obi-Wan series now exists and like everything like that. Because you feel like they should have like ended it with them going into exile. That's it. No need to be like mind and wipe that droid's memory. Like, because like the TV shows are now filling in those blanks. But anyway. I feel like Discovery, that last 10 minutes of Discovery is the thing that just drags it, that whole season down, because it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of Discovery.
Lower Decks. Lower Decks. I adore Lower Decks. And I think maybe the last series, maybe not as strong. There was a couple of episodes that didn't hit as hard, but at the same time, they were still brilliant. As I've said about some of the Marvel stuff, the even the lowest quality of Lower Decks is higher quality than TV out there.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way it ended, and it was a perfect ending.
Yeah,
it was a perfect ending.
Well,
and if they wanted to, they could bring it back. Like if the campaign had won, continue the story from where they left off.
Oh yeah, they can Futurama it, can't they? Like Futurama keeps coming back every so often, so they can let you do the same. And I mean, I'm with you. I loved it. I thought the final season was really strong. I agree that but I think like every season they've had some episodes where you just go like, that doesn't land for me. But I think
all the peanut hamper stories I didn't really like.
I've never
peanut hamper stories. Yeah,
I thought like do it once, fine, but stop bringing that character back. I'm just not into it. To Paul, oh my God, Julian Blalock coming back.
Oh, and actually having Julian and Garrick in an actual marriage.
Yeah, I mean, like there's little things, but then also making Harry Kim the big bad that like sort of like was a stroke. The one Harry Kim that got promoted was then turned into the evil Harry Kim. Like that's why you don't promote Harry Kim. He becomes evil.
So good. It's so all of it just so brilliant, and the fact that like Boimler thinks that he's gonna do this amazing Section 31 job, and it's actually really tedious. It's just like it's just the same. It's just always the same, but a little bit different.
And then I'm bringing back Alfred Woodward's character from First Contact as well. It was just what. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
That Lily Sloan, like bringing her back was just like
excellent fan service.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But that's the thing, service. Like what Lower Decks continually did so well throughout his run was fan service that actually served the stories. Like there was every character that came back was there for a purpose. Like Riker coming back was to give Boimler the chance, to give Boimler the chance to leave and do whatever. Paris coming back was for a reason. Every character that came back, and so it was all excellently done. So I loved it. I forgot, I've been doing some research for my next YouTube video. I forgot that they'd mentioned Science Officer Zon in Lower Decks as well. So you know who Zon is?
Zon
was going to be the replacement for Spock on Star Trek Phase 2. So when
so
and
then he gets turned inside out.
Yeah, well, they never introduced him as a character at all. They replaced him with another Vulcan, in the motion picture, because there was supposed to be Star Trek Phase 2, which was supposed to be a series. Leonard Nimoy didn't want to come back because he was only going to have like 2 episodes, and he was like, "This doesn't do it. This is not good for Spock." And they went, fine, we'll just replace you with this guy here, Zon. Then Zon never happened. And there's only ever 2 references to him. One is in the Wrath of Khan, where his name appears on like a lift, essentially. Like, you get to this floor to see Zon. Okay. And then the other one is in Lower Decks. So I completely forget. Like that's the level of fan service that they do. And did you know you know what I didn't realize? The reference to Miles O'Brien being the most important man in the galaxy, and the statue. What's the statue? Do you remember what the statue is?
It's a gold statue of him on a transporter pad.
Do you know that's based on the fact
there's a control panel?
Because Mike is a fan of the Chief O'Brien at Work comic series.
Oh, well, of course, yes.
So he's a fan of that. I mean,
that's an amazing comic series as well.
It's an amazing, which is finished now, by the way. It had an official ending a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
So they officially ended it. But he was a fan of that comic series, so that's why the statue of O'Brien is on the transporter panel, because it's
That's so good.
So, yeah.
It was a great show. And of course, well, this can actually segue us next, because it also gave us the crossover episode in Strange New Worlds, which again couldn't have been done better.
It's phenomenal. Like, it's literally phenomenal. I love that Jonathan Frakes directed that episode and Boimler improvised the line Riker.
Yes, Riker.
Like, that was improvised in front of Jonathan Frakes, and you're just like, mate, well done. Well done.
Well, the thing that they found, because when Jonathan Frakes directed that episode, he said that it was always seen as a big no-no to do improvising on Star Trek filming.
I remember this interview. Yeah, absolutely. So they were like really shocked.
But they were just like, what do we do? So they like looking at the writers going, because it's always the writers who complain when acting. But they're like, no, this is great. Keep it going. So then it also freed up like Anson Mount and Rebecca Romaine, and that was just like. And I think one of my favorite references in that in that whole episode is at the end when it's animated again, and Ransom sees the poster of number one. And he says, "Oh, she was always like a total babe," and it's like, and in real life, he's married.
Which
is just so great. It's such a like. Total like blink and you miss it kind of reference, but really sweet. I love it.
It was. I think Lower Decks overall was just phenomenal. But Strange New Worlds, that last season of Strange New Worlds, first of all, a Scotsman actually playing Scotty. Third time lucky. We actually get a Scot actually playing Scotty.
Looks like him as well. Like looks like a young James Doohan,
and he's brilliant. He's damn good. Good. He did it really well. I feel annoyed at the stuff that they've released right now. Some of this.
Because it sort of spoils the cliffhanger.
Yeah. I feel like
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm a bit annoyed because the cliffhanger at the end of this season felt like it was like the best of both worlds. Like cliffhanger, like that's the level of cliffhanger it was. I was like, oh damn, this is I'm gonna have to wait a year. Like it felt like that again, and instead,
and then the strikes,
then the strikes, longer. And it's longer. So I'm still like, well, and then suddenly there's all these teasers, and I'm just like, oh, so they all survived. I think there's only one character that they haven't shown coming back, and that's it. And it's just like, okay, fine. So it's kind of annoyed me a little bit, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to the new season. It looks like we've got a full-on return to Silly Trek, which I am all for because, I mean...
The musical episode, I still listen to that album. I love that episode, and I love the songs.
I just wish we'd heard some Klingon opera.
But when it was a Klingon boy band, it was hilarious.
Brilliant. It was so good.
What I loved was Kirk's brother like grooving to it as well. Like they're there, and he's having to like the Klingons are going. He's like biting his lip, like this is so good.
And it made sense. Like again, I loved how it made sense. Like they made science, like they made Star Trek science sense of why it was happening, and I loved it. So I think, and also like it's. I think this season did really well to do stuff like the relationship between Chapel and Spock was really well done because it's going to lead to sort of why there was always that little thing between them in the original series.
But it turns out that she broke up with him with a song. And a dance number.
Yeah, I know.
Now you can watch the original series and know that that's why.
But I know I enjoyed that season. I thought the cliffhanger was phenomenal. I'm just a little bit annoyed about some of the stuff they've released since. So I am looking forward. I get that. I'm looking forward to Clue in Space. Itself,
like it's the best Star Trek since Deep Space Nine. It really is.
Yeah,
it's
I
the best
absolutely.
Star Trek.
I wholeheartly agree with that. So yeah. As I said, Clue in Space. That's what I'm waiting for. Like Silly Trek, I'm all in. I'm all in on Silly Trek.
And I want them to pay off the Cybok. I want them to pay that off.
Yes. Yes,
they set that up in season 1, and they haven't referenced it again. I'd like to see if they bring that back, because it doesn't matter if Pike knows about Cyborg being his brother. It just matters if Kirk does.
Exactly. So, okay. Keeping on the Star Trek theme.
You want to get angry now, and I didn't mind it. I just thought it was throwaway. And
well, no, I don't want to get angry. I'm not angry about it. Like, I am angry about it. Okay, I'm angrier every time I think about it, and I haven't gone back to watch.
It's a pilot for a TV series. That's what it is, and it's a TV series that isn't going to happen. But it's a pilot for a TV series.
I still stand by what I said to you. I messaged you and I said I still stand by it. It's like, if this was on Netflix as an action sci-fi all by itself, then Section 31 would be like, people would go like, it's okay, just watch it, it's fine, and forget about it. But because they try to tie it in so deeply to Star Trek, and this is like having Rachel Garrett as part of the team, all these little things, and it's like, it's terrible. Section 31 should have been like, at most, James Bond in space. Like, it could have been James Bond in space, and instead we got the bad Suicide Squad in space. Like, it's not good. It's not good. It's not a great film. It's fine if it was like a throwaway. As I say, again, a throwaway, not attached to any IP. Just someone made it. You'd go, all right, cool. I've watched it once. I don't need to watch it again. But because it's a Star Trek film, I'm like, why have you made this? And like, as I say, I get what you say. It's because it's supposed to be a pilot, and they had to do something with Michelle Yeoh before they lost her.
Well, they had to pay off the. They had to pay off, and maybe they didn't, because her just going into the Guardian of Forever and going back to a time where she wasn't going to lose her marbles. Fine, and they don't really even like go into like how she ended up wherever she was. Like,
we don't even know an exact the time, because like some people have pointed out, like some people think that she's back all the way to the Discovery time. So how is Rachel Garrett that age and then Captain of the Enterprise C? It's like, I think she's just at our time that it just annoys me, because like the opening bit in the Terran Empire I thought was really good, and I was like, okay, this could be good, right? And then I didn't hate the crew or the Section 31 team until that Irish accent came out. And it was like, that was a choice that was made on set. Like, he prepared for that character, probably with his own accent or with a different accent that he could do. And then either him or the director went, can you try with an Irish accent? Like, can you do one? And he just went, well, yes, I don't want to get into trouble on this job. And that is what I
want to look up. Where is he from? Where is he actually from, this guy? Because if it turns out he is genuinely Irish,
he's not Irish.
Hilarious.
He's not Irish.
He's not.
He's definitely not Irish. I know this because he was interviewed on Trek Culture. So he's not Irish. But there's an interesting thing. Like, so one of the guys, and again, this is sort of going.
He's South African.
There you go. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. The character, the one that was like, had all the cybernetic enhancements.
Yeah.
He's the actor is a big Star Trek fan. So he's a big Star Trek fan, and he brought up a point in an interview again with Trek Culture that actually was like, when he said it, it makes so much point. There are no new Star Trek fans. Like,
I get that.
Star Trek fandom is aging out. Younger people are getting into Star Wars and Marvel. That's what there is. And so what Star Trek is doing right now is it's trying to make content for new fans, and it's trying to make it's trying everything. So that's why Discovery is the way Discovery is. This is why even like Strange New Worlds is Trek as we know it, but it's not really. It's like, it's a very updated version. Like, it's written for modern audiences. It's why Lower Decks exists. It's why Prodigy exists. And it's why Section 31 is the way that it is. It's a terrible Star Trek film. If you put it next to all the other Star Trek films that exist, it's the worst Star Trek film.
Worse than Nemesis?
Yeah, I actually think it's worse than Nemesis. I can at least watch Nemesis and be like, you know what, young Tom Hardy, like, you know.
Okay, yeah.
I can watch it and go like, I can watch Nemesis and be like, okay, fine, it happens. It's still terrible, but this is worse. And I think it's because it misses the point of Star Trek. But then at the same time, it's not meant for me or you. It's not meant for a lot of older fans. It's meant to try and get younger fans who are into the more MCU, Star Wars.
Michelle Yeoh fans, and it is for it.
Yeah,
that's sort of what it is.
That's what it is, and it's just trying to get trying to get new fans because there are no new fans of Star Trek. That's that when he said that, and I was like, I think you're right. I think he's right. And it was
it's one of those, but I think it's one of those shows that it does get new fans, but not by actual televised stuff at the time. It gets new fans, like it gets a cult following.
But you have to remember,
everyone is always going to have that one friend who says, I love Star Trek, you should watch it. And then eventually they become a fan through knowing that friend or through having that partner, or that it does grow that way, but it's not by something's on TV. Oh, I'm going to watch Star Trek, because Star Trek has a stigma to it more so than any other like sci-fi franchise. Star Trek, because of the fandom in the 70s, it appears to have tainted the brand more than any other sci-fi brand has had a following of that magnitude.
But you have to, like, Star Trek especially back in the 90s. So like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying about the 70s and stuff like that. But like when Star Trek came back in the 90s with Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, like it ruled television. And even people who weren't Star Trek, they were aware of Star Trek, and Star Trek would be on in the background of things. And some people got into it more than others, like us. But people knew Star Trek, and people referenced Star Trek. People understood what "Beam Me Up, Scotty" was, even though it was never uttered as a line. "Beam Me Up, Scotty" was a famous line. Phaser set to stun. All of these warp factor, whatever. These were
make
things
it so.
Make it
engage.
so. People knew these. These became lexicon. You know, put it this way, right? What do you think? What's the greatest TV show of all time? What do you think people would say if you ask someone what the greatest TV show? They'd probably say something like Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah, they'll say Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, The Wire. Okay. That's usually what people say. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. This is why I brought up this page here, right? So let's do so the Sopranos, final episode, viewing numbers, viewership, okay. So the final viewership of The Sopranos was 11.9 million. Okay, 11.9 million people tuned in to watch the final episode of The Sopranos. That was in 2007. Okay. Breaking Bad, 2008 was the finale, was it? And that was 10.3 million.
Okay.
Star Trek: The Next Generation finale, over 30 million. In fact, no, wait. Yeah. Over 30 million people tuned in to watch the final episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
That's how big Star Trek was back in the day.
I have something to counter this argument, though, because I can't remember who it was. It was a stand-up set that I saw, but it was brilliant the way it was executed, because it had a fucking good point. Do you know why the viewership was that high for Star Trek then? Because there was nothing else on. There was not as many TV shows or channels or streaming, because even when Breaking Bad finished the season finale, I watched that on Netflix because it was on Netflix.
Yeah, but how many other streaming services were there on the? Like, there weren't other streaming services. Like, I get that. If we're talking in today's, like, in the last 5 years, 5 to 10 years, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. But I'm talking about that, that Breaking Bad finale was nearly 20 years ago now. Like that Sopranos finale was 20 when
no.
2007 is
almost like that.
2007, 18 years ago, when TV was still that traditional sort of cable or whatever. There were no streaming services then. So yes and no. Like, yes, if you're talking about Game of Thrones, which was at a height of that's height of streaming. But when if you're talking about a show like, as I said, like, I think Sopranos is the best example because people hold up Sopranos as one of the best shows ever made. And I agree with that. It's a fantastic show, but it didn't have the numbers that Star Trek did. And Sopranos wasn't competing against a lot at that time as well. Like, again, there wasn't much. So yeah, that piece works if you're talking about Game of Thrones. Doesn't work if you're talking about the Sopranos.
Fair enough.
If I wonder what, like, let's have a look at that's TNG. I wonder what Voyager's finale.
Voyager had quite a big finale.
8.8 million.
I think
8.8 million.
Was that?
That was it.
Okay.
Which is still huge. That's still like getting if you're talking like 10.3 million for Breaking Bad or The Sopranos, like what was Sopranos? 11.9. Only a few million off. That's not a lot off. Like, it's not as if it's like 5 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's when you get into Enterprise, that's when it's bad. So like Enterprise is closer to it, and that was 2005, so or 2003, 3.8 million. So yeah, 2005, and 2 years later was Sopranos with with that many. So TNG, it was Star Trek was huge, and I think people forget that. And I think Section 30. We're going back to Section 31. I don't like it. I don't feel like it's Star Trek. It's not for me, and it's not for any of us who are old Star Trek fans. It's to try and get that younger Star Trek fan audience in to watch Star Trek. They watch that, and then they go, so who's Rachel Garrett? Who is Giorgio?
Yeah.
And then they go back and they watch all the older stuff. Because that's what we did. I didn't start watching the original series. I watched an episode of TNG, and next thing I know, I've watched all the original series movies. I've watched the original series. I've watched the animated series. So you work your way back. You go, oh, so wait, this comes from this. Then I'm going to watch that to find out. So that is what that's Section 31 sucks. But having heard that interview, I get it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same interview. That guy who does all the cybernetics and everything. Is that the same interview where he talks about how long he wore that suit for?
No, I don't remember. No.
He wore that suit for 3 months of filming. It was never washed once. And he said the smell, he said it was unbearable by the end of it. I can imagine he enjoyed making the film, but like he said the suit stunk because wore it for 3 months, and you get sweaty in it, and it wasn't washed for the entirety of the film.
I mean, 3 months. I mean, that's rookie numbers compared to this T-shirt. Okay, and that's our Fantastic Five.
There we go. We've fantastic the hell out of it.
We have, and I guess that's the end of what will be the recorded part of the podcast. Because we did it, mate. We did it. We did a podcast.
We did it. We're back, baby.
We're back. We're gonna just wrap this up because what's gonna happen is we're gonna have a section. I'm gonna take this away. It's gonna be on YouTube, and it's the whole thing. You'll be able to watch back right from the beginning and hear everything that happened. But what I'm gonna do is, in a second, we're gonna close off, and I'm gonna clip it off, and then that'll be uploaded as an audio for people who just want to hear the audio, the traditional way of listening to a podcast.
Old school.
So to those people who are listening in the future, in the audio, I want to watch it on YouTube. We're going to be doing this every 2 weeks on YouTube, live. You'll be able to join in the chat. And after we stop in a second, we're going to have a little catch up with the chat as well. Yeah? Sound good?
Sounds great.
So before we sort of say our goodbyes for this episode, don't go. We're not finishing the stream yet. We are going to continue for a little bit longer. We'll discuss the show, the future of the podcast, look at the chat as well. Just to say, if this is the first time that you've listened to the podcast, thank you very much. Come to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe, go to our Twitches as well. You can follow us on Twitch and on all other social media. So please follow. I think most of the Geekatorium social media is dead, by the way, so it's going to be just following us. So yeah, also because I don't want to go back on Twitter ever again.
And I barely use social media as well these days.
So subscribe to this channel on YouTube, or subscribe to and follow us on other social media. We still have the Facebook page. You can go in there if you're.
Yeah, do the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitch.
Yeah, follow us on Twitch. That's the other thing. We live stream. Well, you live stream more than I do these days. So
yeah, but still not as much as I'd like to. But
yeah, exactly. But it's lovely to be back. It's lovely to be back. We're gonna, as I say, we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks here live on YouTube. Audio release later on. Probably tomorrow I'll release the audio.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to come and join in next time, come to the chat and enjoy. But thank you very much for listening in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, buddy.
We're here. We're back. It's happened.
Let's put on some music for the people. Here we go.
There we have some nice chill out background.
You want chill out music?
Some
do
jazz.
you want some jazz? Do you want some defiant jazz?
Tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the guitar and we're going to play some Ghost. That's what we're going to do.
There we go. How's that for some jazz for you? Is this relaxing enough for you?
I can hear it, but like all the other music that was playing, it's patchy. But that's me.
So we need to work out, maybe we don't use Discord, we use something else for the future. But we did it, mate. We did it. First podcast back.
We did it, and thank you everyone who has stuck for the entirety of the thing. We had let's just shout out everyone. We have aficionados, Alan Oakes, Andy Winehouse, Ed Edmondson. Thank you all for popping in and saying hello in person. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, really appreciate it. Especially sort of come back, just. It's really. I messaged Matt earlier on today, going, "I'm nervous." Like I was actually like, I don't know why, but for some reason, earlier on today, I was like, I'm actually a little bit nervous about doing this. I was excited, and I was the one who said to you, "Let's do this again." But suddenly I was like, "Oh God, are we doing the right thing?" So, but I think we are.
Absolutely. I think, and you messaged me. I think it was at the last comedy club that I put on. It was, I think I just finished that night, and then you messaged me all of that, and it was amazing. So no, thanks for suggesting bringing it back, and here we are. And it was like putting on like an old jacket that still fit,
Yeah, that the way you delivered that line with the music at that moment was just like sweet. it was like literally perfect. So I thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, it was quite nice. I think like one of the reasons I wanted to bring this back was just because I miss talking to you, man. I miss talking to I miss talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah, me too. It's nice to break that stuff down and have someone to vent it with. And
yeah. I have lots of thoughts, and it's wicked to sort of get back into it and just sort of be here. And as I said to you, as I said at the beginning, like, and when I suggested this, it was like, what is the easiest way we can do this? What is a way that means that, because as we mentioned before, the admin killed us. The editing, like people.
It's the editing, making thumbnails, making posts, doing the social media, all of that. Like when you're doing everything else in your life, and I know like it's a strange thing, and I think partly for me, like you're diagnosed. I've just been always told I'm a very an undiagnosed ADHD person. I would often get like task paralysis. And just be like, when people would be like, oh, you it only takes 30 seconds. Weirdly, like you just be like, I can't even fathom to do that.
I know it will only take 30 seconds.
Thing with that.
I know it will. I know how long it'll take, but I can't. Yeah, exactly. I can't bring myself to actually do it in the first place. I get it, man. I totally get it. So no, it's I remember there were times where I'd sit down to do the edit, and I'd be like, I can't, like, because you'd have to listen back. You'd listen back to it you do one listen back, and that was like 2 hours, depending on how long we spoke for. Then you listen back to it again, just to make sure. Then you've got to go in and put in all the music cues, and then you've got to like balance up, make sure it's all sounding all right again. It'd take hours. Like, it was a full working day. Especially if there was things like, you know, we'd have to sync our audio because we record it in separate places, and then you'd have to sync it, but then there'd be a moment where maybe one of our internet dropped out or something like that, and then we'd have to redo all of that again. So then you'd have to recompile everything and get it all synced up again. Oh, the audio drift was terrible at times, wasn't it? Like,
oh god.
I would say, like, so in the chat, I'm just having a look there. So Alan's pointed out that it's secondary education by real name.
Secondary education.
There we go. So yeah, we had issues with so I'm glad I managed to fix the audio there, by the way. That was a stupid thing, literally finding a rogue level to fix that. So thank you for pointing that out, guys. Thesis also says it's lovely to see us both back together again. So thank you. See, Alan says Skeleton Crew was mint, and as well as Prodigy is also mint. And mate, I genuinely, you need to watch these shows. I know you think it's not for you, and yeah, you aren't the target audience. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy it.
I know. Listen, I know I wasn't the target audience for Ms. Marvel, but I fucking loved that show.
Exactly, Ms. Marvel was great. So yeah. Do you know what we didn't talk about actually? Because I don't know, this is like a tangent, but I'll explain. ADHD. Miss Marvel showrunner was Bisha K. Ali.
Yes.
And last night, I started watching. 2 nights ago, watched the first episode of the new season of Black Mirror, which was written by Bisha K. Ali again.
Okay.
Holy shit! That first episode of Black Mirror.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Black Mirror in a while, so
what we'll do, because I think there's a sequel to the USS Callister episode.
So we can talk about that. Yeah,
I think what we should do is watch the sequel episode and just talk about that episode, not talk about the rest of the Black Mirror season, because
good idea.
Because it's an hour-and-a-half episode as well. It's like a full movie essentially. So I think we should watch that. And maybe have an episode where we just talk about that, and maybe one other thing as well. See what there is, especially with DareDevil coming to an end next week.
DareDevil's coming to an end. What else is coming out? We've got Fantastic Four and
Andor.
Yeah, what's coming out this year? We got Fantastic Four. What was it? Andor. Andor's coming out as well.
The Thunderbolts. What else?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man
Superman.
Either. Superman. Really excited for Superman, by the way. Like, I
really excited for that. I haven't finished Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man yet. I have been watching it, but I haven't finished it yet.
Really good. But, I really like it.
It's quite good. It's quite good. I like the fact that it is very parallel universe, and if it's Norman Osborn instead of Stark, in terms of the way that first episode ended, like that thing in Civil War, was genius.
Love it. Aficionados says, I think you're being very generous to Discovery.
I'm a very forgiving person. This is the thing. Like, I can enjoy sitting down and watching X-Men Origins Wolverine. I can sit down and enjoy the two Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans and Ian Grofford and Jessica Alba and Michael Chiklis. Like, I can enjoy those films, even though they're widely panned. I will still be like, yeah, I'll enjoy this. I like Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't. I like Man of Steel. I don't like Batman versus Superman, but I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel's fantastic. I think it's a terrible Superman movie. I think it's a fantastic sci-fi. I've talked about that endlessly.
You and I, we've come close to falling out about that one, but yes. I'm not a subscriber to the Restore the Snyderverse.
No. All of that stuff. I'm not a subscriber to that train of thought. I think it is a shame that Henry Cavill never proper fair shot at a good Superman story. But that time has passed, and I'm very much looking forward to the new Superman film, which does look like a cartoon version of Superman, and I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that version of the DC universe. I really am.
The thing is, Superman should be a Boy Scout. Like, that's what he's supposed to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing that actually play out, and Crypto as well. So
in the chat, isn't Trek allowed to be bad though? I enter Star Trek 5 as evidence. Well, yes.
Yeah, but Star Trek 5 wasn't trying.
Yeah, no, it wasn't trying to be bad. I know. Nothing is set. No one sets out for it to be bad, and it's not that Star Trek is allowed to be bad. The thing with Star Trek is, it came at a time when, as you said earlier, Rick, was it like the early seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation was like 28 episodes a season.
Yeah. And most of them were awful in those first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
really bad.
That's a lot. They started phasing that out, and it's kind of crazy because like Lost to start with was like 23 episodes a season. 24 was 24 episodes a season because it was an hour of each week. It wasn't. I wanted to actually go back and start watching The Flash again, but then when I saw it was like 23 episodes for season 1, I was like, no. And it's only until it gets to about season 4 that it goes down to about 13 episodes a season. And I think that's actually a good thing. There was too much going on, and obviously it's expensive to do that many episodes. But God, like to rewatch some old stuff, the British did it right. It's 6 episodes a series.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it is interesting. Like, and the reason that one of the only reasons they had seasons that long though was syndication, is so that they could get to that 100 episode and a show would essentially then live forever if it got to 100 episodes. America's weird for the way it does its TV, but
it would last a season.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. It's not that Star Trek is allowed to be bad. There's always been plenty of bad Star Trek, because especially in the original series, it was, and Next Generation did this as well. Star Trek was always great for bringing in new writers and experimenting and giving people a chance. Like, there were some fantastic science fiction writers in the original series, like DC Fontana, Gene Coon, people like that. But then what they continued, like one of the things when they brought on Next Generation, they were like, we need to continue that. We need to have writers that are new and interesting ideas. Ron Moore, who's now you look at his back catalogue of shows that he's created, is insane. Battlestar Galactica, For All Mankind, Outlander, all of these things that are shows that are beloved by so many. He basically he was on a studio tour and handed his script in while he was visiting the set of Star Trek: Next Generation. He was a fan of Star Trek. He wrote a Star Trek script, handed it in, and on the basis of it, got a job. That doesn't happen nowadays. Like that wouldn't happen, and there are less opportunities for. Basically, they go like, we only want to have the best writers, so the opportunities for writers are getting fewer and fewer and fewer. It's amazing that new writers do come through. And it does mean, like, you end up with a show like Discovery where if you don't get the correct writers in, strong writers in at the beginning, they then have to change it and change it and change it. And at times when you're watching Discovery, like the first season feels wildly different to other seasons. Wildly different.
Yeah.
And it's because they've realized, like, we've gone too hard on this one. We need to, like, on this direction. So let's now move to this direction. Oh, we've gone too hard that direction. Let's go down this direction. And as I say, I think, like, season 4, season 5 is when it started finding its feet and started going like, okay, actually, we'll be good. And, you know, bringing it back to sort of other Star Trek, like every Star Trek series went through the same thing. Season 1, 2 of Next Generation, terrible. Season 3, amazing. You know what it was? Is they introduced the collars. Once the collars were in on the uniforms, awesome.
Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks are probably the only Star Trek shows that hit the ground running.
And Star Trek, the first Star Trek, the original series, episode 1.
In some respects, yes, but it did get 2 pilots, so maybe not entirely. Yeah. But the fact that they were able to use the other pilot as flashbacks in another episode later on was genius.
Great accounting.
Sorry?
Great accounting.
Yeah. but yeah, again, I'm forgiving of a lot of like bad TV and bad films and everything. But I've not seen. I think the only episode of Strange New Worlds that I didn't like first time I watched it was the one where they end up in a fairy tale.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't enjoy that episode. So interestingly enough, right? I'm actually one of my video ideas for YouTube is going to be I'm going to rank on tier maker. In fact, no, I might actually do worst to best on this one. I'm going to rank each of the worst episodes from each iteration of Star Trek. And that one,
you're one down for that.
That's the one that's going to be for Strange New Worlds, because it's the one episode that I just go like, I can't. I've watched it back and I've gone, this is just awful. It is just bad. So that's the one there. The other ones, what have I got as well? So masks, yeah. I was tempted by Casino Royale as well in Next Generation.
No, you see, I think there's something good to be found from that episode. I do think because it's meant to be bad. Like, they're meant to be in a bad story. That's the concept. Like, they actually do deliver what they set out to do. They're in the middle of a bad story full of cliches. Like, that's the point of that episode. So I think it actually succeeds in what it sets out to do.
Yeah.
But Masks is atrocious. Like, it's just really, really bad.
It is bad. I'm gonna do Deep Space Nine. I think it's not gonna be Move Along Home. So Alan Moraine is safe.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Muse. It might be the Muse.
The one where Jake gets his energy sucked out from the...
I think it's going to be that one, because that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Voyager, I mean, it goes without saying what Voyager's going to be. Threshold.
Which one? Sorry, which one? Sorry, the internet went weird.
Threshold. The Warp 10.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be that one. Enterprise is actually going to be its finale.
Yeah.
So it's each of them has got bad ones. I'm going to take each of them. I'm going to do a worst to best ranking for a video.
Lower Decks would be the Peanut Hamper one where she's on the planet and she falls in love with the alien there. That's the worst one of that one for sure.
It's hard to pick one from Prodigy. Honestly, Prodigy is really strong. Really strong.
Spock's Brain from TOS.
Spock's Brain, I don't think it's the worst episode. I think it's a ridiculous episode, but I don't think it's the worst episode. Okay. What's it called again? Hang a second. It's a recent, because obviously there's ranking. So I don't get Alternative Factor. Oh no! Sorry. And The Children Shall Lead. That's the one that is
right.
Terrible.
The thesis in the chat here is saying that Threshold is not the worst. Fairhaven is.
I don't think Fairhaven's that bad. bad. I think Fairhaven is bad, but I don't think it's as bad as Threshold. I think what makes Threshold so bad is that it's what they attempted to do versus what they ended up doing are two completely separate things. I think they tried to do like a sci-fi horror, like body sort of changing horror, like, and it just came out as a joke. Like it was too funny, if you know what I mean. Like it just wasn't. Okay. It wasn't a horror. And I think that's what they tried to do. Fairhaven is just it's another holodeck, you know, thing. Like if you think why is Fairhaven bad? That would be my question. Because if Fairhaven's bad, then Bride of Chaotica is equally bad, you know.
Bride of Chaotica though is just fun. It's just. But
that's the thing.
I feel like they had fun.
But they're just holodeck episodes, and like holodeck episodes are just part of what they are. Like, you know, is Dixon Hill as good as Data's Sherlock Holmes episodes? Absolutely not. You know, yeah. I don't know. I genuinely. It's so funny that I was doing the I did the Trek Culture podcast earlier today, as I was telling you before we went live. They do a thing called Cargo Bay 101. So something you can pick from all of Star Trek to put into the cargo bay and eject it out into space. And it could be literally anything. And I almost put holodecks in there.
Oh, I get you. I understand it. I understand it.
Literally nothing, like the only time holodeck episodes appear is when something bad is happening. Like it's never like the holodeck just works and we're all happy. It's always something bad happens. You know, whether it's Moriarty becomes sentient or Badgie becomes a psychopath or you know, it's like it's always something. It always malfunctions. It's always something bad. It also is used for some of the worst things possible. Think Geordie LaForge falling in love with Leia Brahms.
Oh yeah, no, that was that's so problematic when you watch those episodes back.
Or Quark,
and then she apologizes to him.
Quark following Kira around with a holocamera to try and capture her holo image for someone. Like, seriously, such a problematic thing. The holodecks are so problematic. So in the end it was the K-Zone, by the way, I went with. So you can hear that. I think that's going to go out live tomorrow, but the K-Zone is what I put in the airlock because Timu Klingons, that's what they are. Features Fairhaven has stereotypes, offensive accents, lack of ethics, trite storytelling, empty characters. So, like, yeah, it's interesting. I was speaking to Sean from Trek Culture about this, who's Irish, and he doesn't think Fairhaven's that bad. Like, he's like, his thing was like, it's based on a bad novel. So it's like you can't hate something that's based on a bad novel. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the holodeck is based on a bad. It's like you can't hate a movie for being bad because it was based on a bad book, if that makes sense.
So you're using my argument that I said about Casino Royale.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Put in my place.
When you solidify my argument, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I also see here, Thesis also put that Strange New Worlds essentially turned the Gorn into xenomorphs.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Xenomorphs with an engineering degree. Yeah.
They lay their eggs inside people, and yeah, it's. I've started rewatching Strange New Worlds actually from the beginning, because obviously with the new season coming out, so I thought I'm going to watch it from the beginning. Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's like from the beginning, just from the very beginning, it's really, really good, and it does the right amount of like one of the things I loved about 90s Star Trek was the crossovers, and because sometimes they just happened, like especially when like TNG Deep Space Nine happened, and like Bashir just appeared on the Enterprise, like because he could, or Quark, same episode though, Quark was like speaking to Riker because Riker's clearly been gambling, you know, it's like it's little things like that I really enjoyed. And then Voyager obviously took off from Deep Space Nine, and when they got those crossovers right, they were really, really good. And I think like this Strange New Worlds handles it really well, because like obviously it was a spin-off from Discovery, and it handles that sort of like this crew knows about, certain members of this crew know what happened to Discovery but can't talk about it. Pike, and that Pike knows his future because of what happened in Discovery, and they handle it really, really well. And I think, we spoke about it just there as well. The crossover, the live action crossover of Strange New Worlds, it solidifies that.
And Lower Decks.
Do you know if Strange New Worlds is Star Trek's anchor being?
Yes.
Right now.
I would agree that.
At this moment in time, Strange New Worlds is Star Trek's anchor being. So it'll be interesting to see how Starfleet Academy does as well when that comes out.
Of all the things, I'm not excited for it because I don't want to see cadets train. I don't want to see that. I just want to see people go out and do adventures. I don't want to see them at school.
But the cast. It's an insane cast.
It looks fine. But like, of all the concepts, I'm not interested in seeing them at school. I'm not interested in it.
I mean, to be fair, it's another one that's like, it's not pitched at us. It's supposed to be like a young teen, whatever. And again, to try and get new fans into Star Trek. But I'll give it a chance because, as I said, Prodigy was aimed at like young kids, and
I'll watch it. I'll watch Starfleet Academy. I'll watch it.
Watch Prodigy because it's the follow-up to Voyager that Voyager deserved.
I do know that, and I still find it really bizarre that even gave Robert Beltran an offer because of how awful he's spoken of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Since he left it, but then to have him back. Although I think that he said that he was also offered to be in Picard Series 3, but didn't like what they'd written for him. There was lots of people that were really supposed. I think everyone was supposed to be in it, but they just couldn't afford everyone.
Yeah.
Which was such a shame, because did Picard Series 3 happen when we were still podcasting? Or
yeah, it was.
Did it happen?
So when in our final episode we talked about finales, which was Mandalorian and Picard season 3.
Okay, cool. Because Picard season 3 made me cry. I absolutely thought that was a wonderful ending for that crew. I thought it was perfect, pitch perfect. So yeah.
Alan in the chat just says, does the existence of Starfleet Academy mean we could get a Nick Locarno hologram teacher? No. Well, we've had Nick Locarno.
Not anymore. Watch Lower Decks.
Yeah, Nick Locarno comes back. It's interesting they brought him back because I remember when Voyager came out, obviously the same actor, Robert Duncan McNeil, played Tom Paris.
It's supposed to be Locarno. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be until they had like a real conversation, and they were like, actually, this character is irredeemable. They think that what he did was so irredeemable that it would be too difficult to write a redemption arc for him. So they were like, no, he's gonna rot in that penal colony. But then, of course, he comes back, and I don't want to give back any spoiler. I don't want to give too many spoilers. Actually, I'm not going to say anything. Just watch the Lower Decks episode with him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
the jokes. The jokes about him looking like a certain person is
brilliant.
It's
that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
So let's just finish up by just sort of reiterating sort of what we're going to be doing, sort of moving forward.
Yes.
So. Yeah, in terms of like the podcast now, we are going to be moving to sort of, rather than every week, we're going to be moving to every 2 weeks. And the format's pretty much going to stay the same. Like, we'll talk
same
about
as what you had here. We're not doing Sodium Stories anymore.
Oh yeah, so Sodium Stories we've poured water on it and let it dissolve, and it's dead. It's dead. We both agreed that we did not want to do that anymore.
Internet's too toxic to look for Sodium Stories.
Yeah,
it's just too toxic to look them up anymore.
We will have what we've been watching for sure, and then we will have our Fantastic Five. Will be instead of being like us trying to scrape the barrel to find things to rank, we are just going to do it on. It'll be like a quick, what have we been watching? Did we like it? Should we watch it? That type of thing. Very quicker round up on the fast, and it will be between the two of us. So like it might be a case of like we pick 2 things each and then one thing that we've both watched. Like that, we'll work it out as time goes on. However, what I will say is if you're in either of our Discords, or the Geekatorium Discord still exists, by the way, as well. You want to join that? I'll put a link to it in the description of this later on. If you have a suggestion for a Fantastic Five, then we'll consider it. Like, we'll definitely consider them. And you know, by moving to a 2-week model, like 2-week release, then 2-week record, gives us a little bit more time to work on them. So we could in the future, but we'll see.
That'd be great.
Anything you want to add?
No.
I will always do, like, at the end of every record, we will do this sort of like wind down, meandering. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, enjoy that. Get involved in the chat as always. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So the next one will be on the 28th. Is that right?
I think that's right.
Yeah. So by then,
28th, yeah.
we should have. We'll talk about the finale of Daredevil, and Andor season. The episode 1 should be out as well, or maybe even 2 episodes.
Oh, and also because Last of Us has just started again. Last of Us.
We might want to talk about that because we
today.
never got a chance to talk about Last of Us at all. So
No, we didn't. No,
Yeah.
no, and that season 2 has just started today. So
Yeah. So yeah, we will let you know in advance what we're going to be talking about. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for chatting.
Thank you, everybody.
Really appreciate it. It's good to be back. We don't do raiding now because it's YouTube.
It's YouTube. So oh well.
We're just gonna say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.
See you later, people. Bye.